Good afternoon. I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Tuesday, January the 30th. Well, are you going to be by your TV tonight watching the State of the Union address by Donald Trump? I'm thinking maybe not. You know, the State of the Union address has been a political spectacle of not much relevance for a long time. Every now and then a president will surprise with something important to say, but not often. In the case of Donald Trump, whatever he says is always, of course, subject to change within a few minutes or a few hours or a few days. It would appear tonight his message is going to be he's a great believer in unity and bringing people together. We shall see. He hasn't been very successful at that to date. Speaking of the Trump administration and an outstanding Arkansan in that administration, yesterday was another good day for Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the Baghdad Bob of the Trump administration. She says no one, not a single person cares anything about the Trump campaign's involvement with Russia. Polls show otherwise, and he's busy working to make sure that no investigation is done of that if he can control the FBI. Well, big news late yesterday after we recorded in Arkansas. Jake Files, a Republican state senator from Fort Smith, pleaded guilty to bank fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. He pocketed for himself some state money that supposedly was sent to a project in Fort Smith, another case of misuse of the General Improvement Fund money. He also said that he got collateral for a bank loan on a piece of equipment he didn't own anymore. He'll be going to jail. Our computation suggests perhaps 15 to 21 months at least. He should go to jail. He's defied the public trust. He's had trouble for a number of years. He's been deep in debt, had tax liens. He took a $30,000 loan from a lobbyist 3 years ago while he was looking at a hot check investigation. This is a guy who's had problems. He was a nice guy, good as some Republicans go, slightly moderate by comparison, but he was crooked, and he ought to pay for it. There will be an election to replace him. 3 senators are not going to be in their seats for a variety of reasons when the special fiscal session starts. That raises some question about whether Governor Asa Hutchinson can muster the votes to continue the Medicaid expansion under Obamacare. The governor today held a press conference with some state health officials to talk about the flu outbreak in Arkansas. Some say the outbreak here by rate is perhaps the second highest in the country. 94 people have been counted as dying in causes related to flu. That number may reach over 300, they said today. Take precaution. If you have symptoms, see a doctor. Get well before you expose yourself to others. Be careful. It's not too late to get a flu shot. Also today, the governor announced that 70 people have now qualified to be instructors in the enhanced training course by which you can get an enhanced concealed carry permit to carry a handgun into an expanded number of places, including college campuses. Now that those 70 are certified, and that's out of 1,000 instructors who all must take this test eventually, they can start offering courses to the public, and people who have regular basic concealed carry permits can get the enhanced one so that they can begin to take their guns in more places, including the state capitol and courthouses around the state and bars as well. As of yet, nobody's been able to take that course, which was going to require 8 hours of training, including 2 hours on a range, but that should start soon. Perhaps in a month or so, this new permit will be available and in use by Arkansas citizens. Yesterday, we reported on Arkansas Blog, Springfield, Missouri TV station's rare interview with one of the owners of the C&H Hog Farm in Mount Judy in Newton County. This is the controversial factory farm that some people see as a threat to the Buffalo River because it's in the watershed and it gathers thousands and thousands of gallons of hog waste every day. He says they're operating legally and by scientific means that are not a danger to the watershed. Opponents of that farm say otherwise. They say they have evidence they can prove that show the water does have higher levels of pollutants because of that hog farm operation. They don't want it to continue to have a permit. The Little Rock Police Department today announced that you're not going to be able to get Freedom of Information requests fulfilled for free anymore. You'll have to pay $3 for a CD of any information you obtain. Blue Hog Report, run by lawyer Matt Campbell, says this is illegal under the FOI law. You can only charge to the extent that it costs to reproduce something, and you can take your own device down there and inspect records and copy records with your own devices, say a thumb drive, without being charged for it. The Little Rock Police Department has been hassled somewhat by a blogger who's running for city board, Russ Raycop, who's dug up a number of reports about the police department that haven't always always been flattering. It may be only coincidental that they're now charging to pass out that information. I mentioned something yesterday in which there was a good outcome. The Senate voted 51-46 for another bill to further make it hard to get an abortion in the United States. They needed 60 votes to pass. They knew they couldn't pass it. This was to put pressure on some senators facing re-election bids in certain states. This bill would have further restricted women's medical rights. It's a rare victory for women's medical rights in a difficult time for them with Republicans in control. I'm Max Brantley. Resist like I am. I'll be back tomorrow.